Barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. So I just saw an article on Boxing Scene. I'll read you guys the title of it so you guys can Google it. It's called Arum. Joshua should sign with Top Rank. Nobody has the zone. End quote. That's the title of the article. So feel free to go to Boxing Scene and read that article. And um, he says, he said, I want to read the article to you, but I found something interesting. It makes no sense to continue placing his fights on the zone. It makes no sense to deprive him of pay-per-view if he fights in the UK. He can't turn that into pay-per-view dollars in the United States. That's because of the difference in time. End quote. Now, I've said it's funny how everyone is coming along with the Fred Hawthorne show. And I'm not making this about me. I'm not making about how intelligent I am or how I can read into the future because I see things from 50,000 feet. I don't just think linear like A goes to B, B goes to C. You know what I mean? And keep it real. I'm not the only one who said this. I remember '78 and uh, Boxing Ego spoke about this and Black Fight Fan. The list goes on and on. Blue Blood. The list goes on and on. You know, Town Biz. I'm not the only one. And yet, Eddie Hearn didn't see, couldn't see the trees, couldn't see the forest through the trees. Uh, they're in a, I know they're in a desperate situation. Not desperate in terms of the temperature in the car is about to pop and explode. No, definitely not that. But they're approaching the red, and I think without improvements, they're a year away from closing their doors, or just settling in being a seaside promotional company. Not a seaside promotion company, a seaside like Telemundo, like an English version of a little English version of Telemundo. How that play on words worked, you know. Uh, I'm and I'm gonna be as real as I can be. I think the Zone has done a hell of a job with Tevin Farmer. I don't know how much money he was making prior to this, but um, it appears to me that he's made more money than he's ever made. Jarrell Big Baby Miller, uh, they have made a substantial amount of money in comparison to what they made in the past, according to them, right? And so um, I don't want the Zone to close their doors. I need the Zone to get wise. I need the Zone to become intelligent because I'm gonna keep it real. After this is the last era of on-site promoters. I'm being as real. I'm gonna be the promoter, right? My son, who's gonna run my YouTube channel when I get old and gray, if he is into boxing, I don't know, or I'll hand it off to somebody. They'll do the road work, and I'll report everything from my living room. If you have a YouTube channel now or a media outlet, you're gonna be the promoter. You and you're gonna partner up with the fighter to promote the fight in some capacity. It sounds simple, right? But I'm talking about in the grand terms. You may need a staffing company to do the logistics, right? That's what the promotion companies typically are now. You know what I mean? I think everyone is going to be a lone ranger in this wild wild west by 2030. And what I mean by lone ranger is many of these fighters will have their own promotional companies, right? And they're going to be more media savvy in terms of staying on the ground like a Deontay Wilder, still talking to media companies like me and talking to big engines like Fox Sports and treating us equal. Uh, I would argue that he treats us greater than he treats them because he's made some breaking news on 78's channel. So, uh, uh, but that's not up for debate. That's up for the haters' consumption. I want the haters to digest on that for a second. The baddest man on the planet comes to little old media outlets like me, like 78, little old tiny media companies, and you guys sit and write perfect articles, go get your master's degree, your PhD in journalism and communications, and yet, we just have little YouTube channels. I love turning the knife after I jab them. You know what I mean? Uh, but I think by 2030, promoters are going to be obsolete. And I think Al Heyman is moving towards that direction, not making promoters obsolete, but making them logistics masters. You know, he's he's leveraging the network's money to enable its fighters, to enable his fighters under the PBC banner to start their own promotional company. Like I'll be real, I got a greater sense of joy out of Garcia Boxing and Earl Spence Man Down Promotions than I did Earl Spence beating the fight, winning the fight. I'm being real. I'm being as genuine as I can be. The Garcia family has had 2 sold out events, and I love that. I love that story. I love what Big G's done. I love Earl Spence's story. He and his mom and his dad. You know, all great stories, all benefiting from an Al Heyman model, right? And um, I think Bob Arum is alluding to the fact, but I mean, Bob Arum doesn't have much longer, right? In terms of promoting itself. I'm not talking about him living. I know he's 87 or 86 years old, 88 years old. And I admire Bob Arum. When I say Bob Arum is some of my, I don't really have to, see, the beautiful thing about when I interview Bob Arum, I can just ask the question. I don't have to preface anything. He is so media savvy, articulate, intelligent. He done read every book, knows every law, knows how to manipulate words, knows how to put 2 and 3 words together, knows how to raise the octave in his voice to make him pretend that he's angry. You know, like he's a joy to interview. Like when I say Bob Arum, he is a joy to interview. No lie, for real, for real. I mean that genuinely. And uh, I think that he's on to something. And he obviously wants to sign Anthony Joshua because he believes Eddie Hearn has done a piss poor job. And I'm willing to bet that maybe ESPN owns rights to Top Rank. I'm willing to bet that they have to sign off to some capacity to ESPN. I'm willing. I want to ask Bob Arum that. Does ESPN own? I bet some, and the reason why I'm putting this question out there, because no one has ever thought to ask this question, but I'm willing to bet a reporter or a journalist will ask that question next time they see, Bob Arum. Trust me and believe me, all right? But at the end of the day, um, what I've been saying and what others has been saying that's echoing similar sentiments as me, that Eddie Hearn has done Anthony Joshua a slight injustice. I'm not going to say he's been all bad because Anthony Joshua is a household name in his country. You know, he makes millions of dollars in his country. He's never lost. He's a unified, undefeated world champion, which is all facts, right? But that legacy money has to be built by Americans. They've tested and tried their UK market. It hasn't equated to a lifetime full of money, you know, and I genuinely believe that America has it. You know, Conor McGregor came over here and got 120 million. Manny Pacquiao came over here and got 400 million for his career. I don't know. I'm just guesstimating. Floyd Mayweather came over here and got $1 billion and never left Vegas. You know, so in his money days, I don't in his high profit earning days. So uh, I'm interested to see what boxing is gonna look like in 2030. Watch how powerful um, these channels be in 2030. If you have I'm willing to bet YouTube channels are going to turn into promotion companies. I'm willing to bet you. I'm willing to bet you any amount of money. Uh, and I might be an advisor. I would go the advisor route. I, I think I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna have a best friend as a lawyer in terms of business. I think I may go that route in the next when my kids are self-sustainable in terms of they can unlock the door with the key. You know what I mean? And they can go in the kitchen and fix their sandwich and stuff like that. I'm definitely going to be more aggressive on the business side of boxing. You will see me in a suit at a fight in the next decade. And I don't mean a suit physically because I'm not a suit type of guy. I'm talking about a suit in terms of mindset, how you perceive them, and their level of importance in the boxing game. I can guarantee you that. You understand? And uh, so we'll see. So, anyways, at the end of the day, Bob Arum is lashing out at Eddie Hearn, and he's opened the floodgates. Obviously, the criticism of Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua and what they're doing and how it relates to how they're moving in America, but how obsolete promoters are without a network deal. Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.